is critical. But just real simple, we got better today. That's what we're always trying to do as a program, continue to improve, continue to get better, and I thought we did that today. And the thing that always excites me that never gets old for me is when a young person chooses to come be a part of our program. I love that because I don't think that there's anybody that's more transparent in the recruiting process than we are. We try to be very thorough. We try to lay everything out as far as who we are, the way we do things, the expectations, and that way, again, there's no surprises. And so for guys to choose to come be a part of our program each and every year is something that is special, something we take great pride in and never gets old for us. So I appreciate all these guys that chose to be Tigers today. I appreciate their families for believing in the vision of our program and wanting to be a part of it. So I want to officially welcome all of them to the Clemson family. You know, this is another great class for us. I think this is maybe our 6th top 12 or 13 class in a row. And I don't think it's a coincidence. The consistency that we've had in recruiting has really helped us to have great consistency, you know, on the field as well. And then just the culture of our program has helped us to have great consistency in the classroom, in the community. And this group, I think, is going to be special. That's just probably a simple word that I could say. I think this is a group that, from top to bottom, fills our needs. It's 2 years in a row, literally 2 years in a row, that we have graduated the winningest senior class in the history of this school. Last year, that group had 42 wins. And then you come back this year, and this senior class has 46 wins. So that's a lot of great winners that have walked out the door over the last 2 years. And so I think that it's critical that we bring in a group of players and people to replace them that have those same type of characteristics and intangibles that group had. And I think that, you know, as we've gone through our evaluation process, what I'm always challenging our staff is, listen, we need championship people first. You know, that needs to be our focus. And I think that this group, you know, with this group, we've done that. I think we've got a bunch of championship people that just happen to be good football players. And that's what I like. So really excited about these guys coming in. We had 7 mid-years, and it was a lot of fun today getting a chance to kind of embrace those guys and let them have a chance to enjoy signing day and speaking to all the supporters that were in the building today, and they did a great job. We had a little player panel, and I don't know if y'all saw any of that, but Christian kind of moderated that and did a great job. And you know, it's huge when you get guys here early, especially the caliber of players that we have brought in, and then completed the rest of the class today with our signees. But overall, we had 23 guys sign up with us. And right now, one is slated to be a gray shirt, Cade Stewart. But, you know, we'll see how it all plays out between now and the fall, whether or not he'll be able to come in August or not with this group. But most of our guys have been committed since the summer. And we went into this recruiting class. You always go into this class kind of focusing on your needs that you have each and every year. And it's interesting. This has been a real interesting year for us because, you know, we really needed offensive line. That was a huge need for us. We needed to, you know, make sure that we got a couple of linebackers. Man, we hit a home run with the 3 that we signed. Wide receiver was an area that we needed to pick up multiple players. We got 3 guys. We got our #1 draft picks at quarterback, at running back, at tight end. We got the #1 guys on our board at those positions. And, you know, LaSamuel was a guy that was a holdover from last year that had to get a little bit more work done. So we focused on trying to get one great defensive end, and I thought we were able to do that with Xavier. And then obviously with Niles and Dexter, we continue to improve in the trenches. But the 4 offensive linemen, 5 counting Cade, I thought really solidified what we were trying to do there. And so, the interesting thing about it is you go into it, DB wasn't a need for us coming into this season. We didn't have one senior on our entire roster in the secondary. So it's kind of hard to go recruit when you don't have scholarship for guys. And you certainly, you have to plan on all your guys to come back. Now, we certainly knew that we had some juniors that would probably consider maybe going pro early, but we don't know. And so we found out pretty early about Travis Blanks that he was going to make this his senior year and graduate in December. So we knew about Travis. J-Ron told me literally the week of the national championship game, his decision. And then TJ and Mac didn't make their decision until after the game. So we had to hit the ground running with just really a couple weeks to go get it done in January. And the thing that's really unique about that is that we were able to, say, okay, who's the best guys out there and make some calls. And people were interested in coming to see Clemson. And I think that's a credit to the strength of our brand. To be able to get some of these guys on campus and to be able to finish off beating some of the best programs out there in the country and signing some of these DBs was huge for us. So I'm really proud of what we were able to get done in that particular area because it wasn't a huge need, but became one. And so the strength of our brand allowed us to finish like we needed to in the DB spot. We've got a really talented team returning this year that we're all excited about. But I really believe that with the addition of this class, we can continue to have that competitive depth that we need to be successful. I think one of the best things about our program and our team is what we practice against each and every day. That's what's made us successful. It's really hard. We're the only team in the country, top 12 in offense, top 12 in defense. And when you're practicing against that each day, it really makes game day, not near as much not near as stressful as it could be because of what you see in practice each and every day. Regardless of who we play. And I think that with this class coming in, we can continue to have that competitive depth that we need to move our program forward. Again, the 7 mid-years, that's big to go ahead and get those guys acclimated, get them through the offseason and all the stuff. You look at last year, a guy like Mitch Hyatt, a chance to go through the offseason, and he's your starting left tackle as a true freshman. There's no question that, the early start helped him to be ready. The breakdown of our class, first of all, we went to 10 states. And I think it's the first time maybe since 1994 that we've had that many states represented in our class. And again, that speaks to just the strength of our brand. And people want to come see Clemson. We're not going to just load up and go to Kansas. But you got somebody who's expressed an interest. They want to come see our campus. And we all know if we get them on this campus, then we have a real shot. But we signed 11 offensive guys and 12 defensive guys, 5 OL, 1 tight end, 1 quarterback, 3 wideouts, 1 running back, 12 defensive guys, starting with the 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 DBs. So a great class. Again, a lot of fun. I got a chance to go to some places I'd never been in the recruiting process. Always a lot of great moments, and just really thankful and appreciative for the job that our staff has done. It's a really difficult thing to do. The recruiting process is. Christian, there you go. This is our moderator. Christian, you want to do this?
What you doing, Coach?
You want to handle this?
I'm there when I was teaching the young boys some plays.
You want to handle this?
Yeah, what we doing? I got like a minute on my hands.
This is Christian Wilkins, if you didn't know him. And speaking of places I've never really been, never been to Suffield Academy before, Connecticut. And I think I was one of the only ones that went to see his mama. And so we're glad to have Christian. He had a great year. This is our D-tackle / receiver / running back / goal line specialist / what else?
That's right. And / just call me Slash. We made up a new position called Slash. That's all you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I can do it all.
/ talk show host. He did a great job moderating today with all the mid-years, and he's done a great job leading that group. So,
thanks to Don. I got to thank Don. Don taught me everything, so big shout out to you, Don. Good job. But yeah, I'm about to head out. That's all I got. That's all my time. All right, you guys have a great day.
All right, appreciate you, Christian. I love it. I love it. But again, the biggest thing I want to say is just how much I appreciate the job that our staff does. We got a lot of people that work really, really hard. You just look at our social media, and John, headed up by Jonathan Gant and his whole group, and what they've done this past year in helping us build our brand. You look at what Thad Turnipseed and Jordan Sorrells have done down there in Clemson Google land. All the students who work for us back there. I mean, they just do an unbelievable job. Brad Scott, Woody McCorvey, Jeff Davis. Those guys are so impactful in the recruiting process. Not to mention just the job that our coaches and our team. I mean, our players are the best part of our whole recruiting, process. And so just really appreciative to all of them. And it's been a fun year watching Streeter come in. And, this time last year we were kind of throwing him into the grease pit after Jeff Scott had kind of been heavily involved in the recruiting around here. But I thought Streeter did a great job all year long of really just kind of being that good liaison between the staff and what was going on down in there in the recruiting world and helping keep us all on task. And so really just, again, proud of everybody for the job that they did. And then just the administration, President Clements. I mean, we got the best president in the country. Our president is tremendous and incredibly supportive with our recruiting efforts. Takes a lot of pride in it. And so I can't thank President Clements enough for the time that he gives us in meeting with families and meeting with these recruits, and he's passionate about it. And then obviously our administration, Dan Radakovich and our board and IPTAY, they give us the resources we need to compete at the highest level. So it's a true group effort. And again, just so thankful. It's a lot of fun to be where we are after 7 years. You guys you old timers that have been around here with me from day one, y'all remember the first 12 we signed, and the Dandy Dozen, and all those guys graduated. And I think the interesting thing about recruiting is I just think it's all backwards. I really do. To me, what we should be doing today is we should be coming out and we should be assigning stars based on the guys that came in here 4 or 5 years ago. And that should be, their stars should be assigned today. And so, I think Adam Humphreys wouldn't be a 2-star. I don't think Grady Jarrett would be a 2-star, because now what did they actually do? How did they perform in college? How many of them graduated? How many of them stayed out of trouble? How many of them, did the right things and so forth? But that's the world we live in. And but I'm really appreciative of the staff for the job that they did. As far as us right now as a staff, we're going to take a short break, and everybody it's been quite a year. It really has, and we really have not stopped 1 second. We went from the national championship game, boom, right on the road, and we have not stopped. So we're going to take a few days. Most of the staff's going to go out and snow ski and try not to hurt each other. If you want a great classic YouTube video, you want to see Robbie Caldwell going down the slopes. That is a beautiful thing to see. And with Coach Venables, just stay behind him. Do not be in front of him. It's dangerous. So we're going to have a lot of fun, and everybody kind of have a few days, and we're going to come back next week. And, man, we're going to get ready to charge back up the mountain. That's the biggest thing. I can't wait to get started with this 2016 team. We're already off to a great start with our 2017 class. And, we've got a lot to do as a staff, studying ourselves, the quality control. We're already in the process as coaches going through that and really trying to dig deep and see all the things that we did good, and there's a lot of that, but the things that we didn't do so well, how do we improve that? That's what it's about every year. And, that's what we'll go to work on. We're going to start spring ball February 29th, so it's a quick turnaround for us. We'll come back from our break, and we'll get involved in our all-in program with our players, get plugged in with them, and look forward to that. And, again, spring ball will crank up. We'll have our spring game April the 9th, and, can't wait to get going. So with that, I'll take your questions.
Dabo, you mentioned transparency in the recruiting process. How hard is it now with all the pomp and circumstance around recruiting? I mean, a kid today committed jumping out of an airplane.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
Are you serious?
I swear, yeah. How hard is it to sort of
Where'd he go?
Ole Miss?
Whew. Wow.
Yeah. To just sort of like de-recruit them, as they say, and make them understand, that everything that went into it is not reality.
Yeah, I think that's to each his own. I mean, all I can tell you is how we do things here, and you can talk to any of the guys that we recruit. I'm very upfront. I'm very transparent as far as, I mean, we work hard, we recruit them hard. We make sure when they come here they have a great time, but we work really hard in making sure they know exactly what it's going to be like when they get here. That's just what we do. That's how we do it. I lay the whole program out. I go through the whole program A to Z, what the expectations are. If you're not going to class, you're not playing. I'm very open in that regard because I don't want anybody coming here for the wrong reasons. So we don't really have to deal with that a whole lot, to be honest with you. I'm probably the biggest de-recruiter of all. The coaches bring them to my office. It's sometimes they're probably holding their breath a little bit when they come in there. But that's just what I believe in. I just want everybody to know this is who we are, and if it's for you, great. If it's not, listen. There's a better spot for you. Everybody has to make their decisions for their own reasons, and so again, that's why it's so exciting to me, because I know these 23 guys right here. They came here for the right reasons, and they want to be a part of it, and that's exciting. That never gets old. It really doesn't. And I think our staff has done a great job, again, as we have built our program in really getting good people. Really getting good people. That again, Christian Wilkins, he's a great young man that just happens to be a good football player, and that is so much fun to be around every single day. I mean, this kid, he's exhausting his opportunity. I mean, he just loves every second of it. And, oh, by the way, he just happens to be a great defensive tackle. And that's what makes it fun. And I think our staff has done a good job in evaluating and bringing in the right guys that fit the Clemson culture.
You kind of touched on it earlier, but how's the success you guys have enjoyed on the field the last 4 or 5 years and when you got here? How's that allowed you guys to expand the footprint to Kansas and Hawaii and up north?
Well, we're always going to win from the inside out. Always. I mean, we're always going to win right here in South. If we're going to have a great program, we got to be great in South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. That's where it starts for us. We recruit Georgia and South Carolina, North Carolina as one big state. We really put a lot of manpower, a lot of legs on the ground there in recruiting, and that's the heart of our program, and always will be. But as we have built our program and have had success, and you've seen our brand grow nationally, we get people calling us. We're not just going to go on wild goose chases. There's plenty of good players out there. But all of a sudden you have a kid like Christian Wilkins, for example, that, hey, are you interested? He's one of the top players. We're going to recruit the best players. And, hey, are you interested? Absolutely. And all of a sudden now they're not just interested, they're coming down. And then once we get a guy on campus, we know we have a shot. People are going to like Clemson. And so that's really, what it boils down to. Same thing like you referenced Pagano. When Brent first came to me about Pagano, I'm like, what, do you just want a recruiting trip to Hawaii or something? I said, we're not getting that kid from Hawaii. And he's like, no, I'm serious. His mom wants to talk to you. And they want to come south. And we were one of the schools that was going to make the tour, and they went to probably 10 schools. And I mean, he was going to come and play in the Southeast somewhere. That's what he wanted to do. And we just happened to be one of the schools that they wanted to check out. And again, the reason for that is because of how our brand has grown and the success that we've had. And as he went through that, this is the place that he felt was best for him. So it certainly has impacted the overall reach of our program. But at the end of the day, we've got to get them on campus, and so it's allowed us to really truly recruit the best of the best. But sometimes, you have a kid that's in California and maybe he's a great player, but he's not interested in Clemson, or we can't get him on campus, or he's not the right fit. But we're going to always build our program from the inside out.
Dabo, with some of the decisions by the guys today, did your war room, so to speak, have that kind of feeling like in 2011 maybe when Stephon and Tony Stewart and those guys were kind of popping up and saying Clemson?
Yeah, and I think that, again, the biggest thing was the situation at DB. We were pretty much done with our recruiting class until we had, the attrition in the secondary. And so that was the game changer for us, and it was huge to be able to go and get Trayvon Mullen. It was big for us. You lose a guy like Mackenzie Alexander. Trayvon's been a guy we've kind of been recruiting a long time, but circumstances changed once Mackenzie left. And Brian Dawkins was a kid that we gray shirted that we have really high hopes for as far as his ability at corner. To be able to go to Kansas and get Isaiah Simmons, I mean, man, what a great prospect and a great family coming in here. You're beating Michigans and Michigan States and all those type of Nebraskas, those type of programs. You haven't recruited him. You get on him late. Well, he's taking all these visits, and he comes here, and he's like, wow, this is where I want to be. I think that is, again, speaks to the strength of our brand. And then you look at a young man like Kayvon Wallace. Here's a guy that to me is a lot like Marcus Gilchrist, very dynamic like that. But here's a kid that in this summer he only had James Madison in Cincinnati. I mean, that's not a negative to those schools. That's great for them for evaluating this kid. But that was really the only offers he had. And so I think that's a reflection of what's wrong with recruiting. Because the way things happen so early now, guys still develop. Guys still go on and have great senior years. And now it's just like, okay, you miss out. Some of the bigger programs miss out on guys like that. T.J. Green. I'd never heard of T.J. Green until the Sunday before signing day. A week before signing day. I'd never heard of him. And now he's going pro early. We beat UAB to get T.J. Green. I think Kayvon is an example of that, because all of a sudden he just has this phenomenal senior year, and he's got Ohio State, Michigan State. He's got all these offers that he earned on the field his senior year, and for whatever reason just wasn't really on the radar. And for us, we really weren't. Look, we got a very small board at DB, but as we expanded it, we found this guy, and so really fortunate to be able to get him. I mean, this kid can run. He can play corner, both safeties, can play nickel. I mean, there's a lot we're going to be able to do with that guy, just the way Marcus was. And then a kid like Nolan Turner. Here's a guy that we'd had in our camp, knew all about, and because of the expansion of our board and with the attrition, to be able to get a guy like Nolan Turner, who's 6'2", 190, and can run 4.4, and has all the intangibles to go with those measurables. He'll be as good. He'll be. And I don't know why other people haven't evaluated him, but he'll be as good a signing as there is in this class. There's no doubt about it. And we're just really fortunate that we were able to go and fill those needs like we did these last couple weeks.
How difficult was that, given 3 weeks ago you were playing for a national championship, and now you're back on the road trying to solidify this class?
Well, I mean, it was a little bit more of a grind than we thought it was going to be. We thought that we would be spending more time really just going around and looking at juniors, but we were really grinding all the way, through the finish line here, and that's just the way it is. That's what we do.
Is there going to be room in this program for the T.J. Green type stories, Jarrett type stories, because you've got so many?
Always.
5 stars interested?
Always. There will always be room for those guys. No doubt about it.
Let's talk about the difference in signing day 5 years ago to today, because now you seem to be signing, you're getting most of your commits prior to the season and in the season, so it kind of takes away the big splash that used to be signing day. And not just here, but everywhere now, that trend is going on.
Yeah, it's all changed. And to go back to your point, Dan, you look at a guy like Hunter Renfro, because we're going to bring in probably about 4 or 5 preferred walk-on guys, and we're going to have great success with those type of guys. Our program is we're going to play best guy, not the most highly recruited guy. We're going to play the best guy, and all you got to do is look at Hunter Renfro in the national championship game. Here's a freshman walk-on that is doing pretty good. So yeah, we'll always have room for that. But yeah, it's just changed drastically over the last 6 or 7 years. And I mean, I was telling somebody the other day, used to, when I was early years of my coaching, like in January was so stressful because you didn't know. You didn't know who, and you'd bring in, you might have 2 scholarships for wideouts, and you bring 6 in on an official visit weekend. And now you got 4 that want to come. I mean, it was just a much more stressful situation back in those days. And you really didn't know until signing day. But what has happened is with the internet and the social media and just all the information, first of all, there is no long distance anymore. Everybody can travel to every place without leaving their room. I mean, they can go and visit anywhere they want to go. I'm just learning about this Periscope thing. I mean, I went to Italy the other day with somebody. I don't know how I got there, but I walked down the streets of Italy live. What a bizarre thing that is. I went to Dubai. So there is no long distance, all right? And I didn't even have to go anywhere. But it's changed everything. So these guys, they all know each other. Like used to, you had to like go somewhere to meet somebody. Now they all meet online and they meet at all these different camps and things like that. So there are no secrets anymore. Everybody knows, hey, Clemson's going to sign 3 wideouts. Everybody. So it's just a different deal. And some of it is good. I think that there's a lot of bad that comes with it too. That's why there should be an early signing period. I've laid that out many times and addressed all the issues and concerns that anybody could have with that. But for whatever reason, we want to continue to not do that and be the only sport without it. And that's why there will always be stories like we've seen. And that's the bad part of the business. But the good thing is if you're getting the right guys, it allows you to really do a good job of getting ahead on the next class. We've got several commitments already for 2017, and the reason for that is because the majority of our work on this 16 class has been done, and so that's just the way of the times. And again, everybody knows, okay, hey, they're going to take 1 quarterback, and you're going to offer 4. And so for us at Clemson, we have to be very careful who we offer. I'm always trying to pump the brakes on that, because guys they like it here. And we're going to sign a great class each and every year. And so we try to, especially early on, let's make sure we're getting our number 1 draft pick, if you will, if we're going to take early commitments. But that's the way it is.
What do you expect Easter's role to be from the start?
Well, I mean, I don't know until he gets here and gets going. But I didn't know if I'd ever see another guy like C.J. Spiller. I really didn't. But he's about as close to C.J. Spiller as any guy I've seen out there in the recruiting process. This guy is special. Big-time talent, incredibly explosive and fast. He's a little bigger and stronger than C.J. was coming out of high school. But, man, game-changing ability. He's going to have to have a little shoulder surgery. He's been battling a little shoulder injury, played with it all year, and something that he really needs to go ahead and get fixed. So that'll probably set him back a little bit. But I expect him to come in and compete and be the dynamic player that he's been. But we'll see how he does as a freshman. But all I can tell you is he's going to have a great career. I don't really get too much. So many people judge these guys based on what they do as a freshman, and you don't get drafted based on what you do as a freshman. It's all about your career, and you should get better each and every year. And I don't have any doubt that'll be the case for Tavian.
2-part question.
here. Do you expect Hugel to be on scholarship, and is everybody on the roster in good standing heading into spring ball?
Hugel's on scholarship right now. We put several guys. One of the best changes that we've had. We were able to put him on this spring. Hopefully we'll be able to keep him on. But that's always part of the roster as far as roster management. As far as what happens this spring, I'm sure we'll have some guys that will go through the spring every year. We always have somebody that decides that they may want to move on. Dane Rogers is a young man that came to see me, and he's decided that he wants to, finish up here this spring and transfer probably to a 1AA school, and certainly have no problem with that. That's the decision that he's made, and support him in that. And then, like I said, we go through the off season, go through spring practice, and then we have all of our exit interviews from time to time. You may have somebody that has a better opportunity, wants to go play more, whatever, and I don't have any issues with that. And then from time to time you have discipline issues, and certainly hope we don't have to deal with any of that, but that's the way it goes. But as far as our numbers, we're right on our number. We're not over at all. Cade right now is slated to be a gray shirt, but if something changes as far as the numbers, he'll be a guy that we would definitely want to bring in with the rest of this class.
Here's some things about Damon Hopper. Is he still with the team?
Yeah.
What's your
As far as I know. As far as I know, like I said, I've been on the road. Last time I heard he was with the team, but
What's your
we'll see.
favorite story from your visits this year, going down to visit kids and parents? What'd you come away with as your favorite visit, or a little story you might come out of here?
Oh, I had lots. I mean, like I said, you'd have to give me a name and it'd trigger something with me. I had lots of great stories. Probably one of the coolest stories I said earlier today was going down to Trey Lamar's house. He had just moved into a new home. They'd only been there like a couple weeks in this neighborhood. They'd only moved down the road or whatever. And so we were going into the house or trying to find the house, and there's a house that had the Clemson flag hanging outside. I said, "Oh, this has got to be them right here." But it wasn't. He was the house next door, and I'm like, "Well, dadgum, he's got a neighbor with a Clemson flag. That's pretty good." And so we go in the house, and we had a great visit, and I was like, "Well, who are these people next door?" And they're like, "Oh gosh," they had met him already, and they're huge Clemson fans, and I was like, "Well, let's go over and knock on the door." And so I don't know, it was 7:30, 8 o'clock, whatever. So we go over and knock on the door. They answer the door, and they're in like their pajamas, and it was a husband and wife and a little girl, and they were like, I'm like, "What's happening?" And so you never know who's going to knock on your door. But I wanted to thank them for flying the Clemson flag, and so we went in the house and proceeded to get a tour through the entire house and every Clemson artifact that was in the house and how it got there, and really had a great time meeting some really nice folks, a couple of graduates from Clemson. So that was kind of neat, spending time with them.
Can you just recount how the ski trip thing started and what was the genesis behind that?
Real simple. There's a guy named Harry Frampton who is a Clemson grad and one of our great supporters in this program, and basically Harry basically developed about half of Vail and Beaver Creek out there, and so he'd always been trying to get us to come out, and so I finally took him up on it, and we went out, and he invited anybody on the staff that wanted to come, and they've just done a great job of kind of coordinating all the logistics and stuff, and so really all we got to do is just kind of get there, and he has us picked up, and so we've been doing that for a long time, ever since I've been the head coach, and it's a fun time, and sometimes some people can go and some can't. You got kids and things like that, but all of the people who go each and every year and the kids that go, it's a wonderful time, and I'd never skied a day in my life, and so I've actually gotten to where I can get down the hill pretty good now. So it's a lot of fun, but we can thank Harry for that. He was the one that just kind of kept inviting us out there, and we finally took him up on it.
Coach, other than Feaster, who are you looking forward to seeing this upcoming season play?
All of them. There's nobody I'm not looking forward to seeing play. All these guys are guys that we recruited, and they bring certain things to the table. I think this spring these 7 mid-years, I'm anxious to see them because they're here right now. And so I'm anxious to see, where they fit in, how they compete. You got Ankrum and Pollard, 2 offensive linemen going through the spring. And we've got Big Dexter and Samuel and Pinckney going through the spring. We got a couple of those linebackers in Trey and Shaq here as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then, the rest of those guys, we'll see where they are when they roll in here late June.
Part of increasing your brand is having, some guys on your team become stars and well-known. How much have they played a role in helping get recruits here and the visits and hosting them, that kind of thing?
I mean, again, your players are your greatest asset. I mean, it's just that simple. If you're not doing a good job with your players, you're probably not going to do very well in recruiting. It's just that simple. So, I think that it plays a huge role. I don't think there's any question about it. It plays an absolute huge role, along with winning and just, the production of your pro. We have a track record. We have a 7-year track record. And when you can sit down and say, okay, we've had 135 seniors and 129 of them are graduates, 75% of the guys who've left here and got a shot at the NFL made it. Those are staggering numbers. So, those are things that you can sell, 5, 10-plus win seasons. 71 guys have gotten a shot at the NFL in the past 7 years. I mean, those are things that resonate because they're facts. And then, so you take your current players and they are enjoying their college experience. They're getting their education. They know that there is structure and order and discipline in the program. There's consistency, not perfection, but consistency. That resonates. Our guys know we care about them. And, and every program has a few guys here and there that maybe aren't as happy as others, but at the end of the day, they all know we care about them.
Would you touch on those 3 wide receivers and how different they are and what
Yeah.
they bring to everything?
Well, I think that's important, and we try to, do a good job of that every year. I think Jeff does an excellent job of making sure that we bring all the tools that we